Governor Larry Hogan of Maryland, he's a Republican in a very Democratic state who has taken on a leadership role in the Republican Party and may end up running for president in 2024. Governor Hogan, it's a pleasure to have you. Welcome back to Meet the Press.
Good morning.
So I want to start with this, which is the Lindsey Graham analysis. He says Liz Cheney thinks the party can't grow with Donald Trump. And obviously Lindsey Graham believes the party can't grow without Donald Trump. What say you, Governor Hogan?
Well, look, I think we've got to get back to winning elections again. And we have to be able to have a Republican Party that appeals to a broader group of people. And we have to get back to having a bigger tent, as Reagan talked about, and not continuing to look. We had the worst 4 years we've had ever in the Republican Party, losing the White House, the House of Representatives, and the Senate. And successful politics is about addition and multiplication, not subtraction and division.
Can you explain why the party doesn't seem to hold Donald Trump responsible this? When I say the party, most of the elected leadership, you're an exception at the NGA, RGA apparatus, but most of the leadership doesn't seem to pin this on him. You know, again, you sort of, the record is the record. Why do you think they don't want to pin it on him?
Well, I think they're concerned about retaliation from the president. They're concerned about being attacked within the party, and you know, it just bothers me that you have to swear fealty to the dear leader, or you get kicked out of the party. It just doesn't make any sense.
Well, to me, the most damning part of this, Liz Cheney voted for President Trump's singular legislative achievement, and what many Republicans tell me is very important to protecting. The person that they're replacing her with voted against it. I mean, is the party now what you just said? If you're not with Trump, you're not a Republican?
Well, it's sort of a circular firing squad where we're just attacking members of our own party instead of focusing on solving problems or standing up and having an argument that we can debate the Democrats on some of the things that the Biden administration is pushing through.
How do you talk to Trump voters? There's certainly some places that President Trump did well in Western Maryland, some places along the Eastern Shore. You're in a blue state, so you have a little bit of an easier time straddling the wings of the party. But how do you have a conversation with a Trump supporter that says, hey, how come you haven't investigated voter fraud, Governor Hogan?
Well, I just try to be honest with them. And, you know, in my state, I ran 45 points ahead of the president, but I'm ahead of him among Republicans, among conservatives, and among Democrats and independents. And I think what most people want really is just people to tell them the truth. And we can disagree on what happened in the election, but voters still support me in spite of the fact that I don't happen to support conspiracy theories.
One of the issues is the information ecosystem. And as you know, there is a reward. There is a sort of a reward system for own the libs political theatrics. And if you somehow help pass a bipartisan bill, you're punished. You know, that seems, I mean, you want to run for president. How do you run in an environment where most of the voters you're going to be appealing to are hearing this bizarre set of fictional ideas?
I think that most voters in both parties are kind of fed up with the crazy things that are coming out of both parties, and they really want to elect elected officials that are willing to work together, that are willing to get things done and come up with bipartisan common sense solutions. And I've proven that in 2 elections in a row by winning overwhelmingly with Republicans, Democrats, and independents, because people are just fed up with the politics we have in Washington today.
Does this, look, this decision by the House Republicans to oust Liz Cheney, it's not a done deal yet, but does this now make Donald Trump and the Republicans in 2022 that it's a referendum on his leadership? And if Republicans can't win the House and the Senate with Donald Trump as the leader of the party, is that finally the moment that perhaps some of these elected leaders realize, oh, Trump hasn't been good for the party?
Well, perhaps. I think it's a long war, and this is it's only been a couple of months, and we've got to see what happens in 22 and lead up to 2024. This is going to be a battle for the soul of the Republican Party, and I think things are going to be a lot different a year from now, and 2 years from now, and 4 years from now than they are right now.
I'm curious.
Look,
go ahead.
After 1976, in 1976, after Watergate, they said it was the death of the Republican Party, and we came back 4 years later, in 1980, with the biggest landslide victories in history, with Ronald Reagan.
I want to ask you about the pipeline situation, because this pipeline goes through the state of Maryland. How does something like this work? Are you alerted? Are you aware of this? And these ransom attacks, as you know, small local government entities are getting hit with these almost every day, and we don't seem to know how to deal with it. What's your prescription?
Well, cyber threats are one of the biggest threats we face. And, Maryland is the cyber capital of America. We're the home to NSA and the U.S. Cyber Command. But these are things we've got to invest more money in. You had Senator Cassidy on earlier. He and I are working towards a bipartisan compromise on infrastructure, which includes more money in securing the grid and securing our energy infrastructure.
Governor Larry Hogan, Republican from Maryland. Always good to have you on. Thanks for coming on and sharing your views with us, sir.
Thank you.